Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Coaching Conversations with Nick and Chris. How are you this morning, Nick?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing great, fighting fit, ready for a good week in front of me and getting ready for a holiday after that. So
Yes, holidays coming up, which is wonderful. A little bit of time.
You get the reward. That's how I think about it.
Yes. A little bit of R&R is always good for anybody. So much needed. Today, I want to kick things off with a marketing-related question. If you are listening to or watching this and you are struggling with marketing right now, or you're trying to generate more leads, trying to nurture people in a different way, trying to find your ideal client or speak to your ideal client, if you're struggling to create marketing campaigns that actually work, we've got a relatively simple method, which we've been practicing since I've been around with UpCoach, so 5-6 years. And it's something that always works, and we preach it with our clients, and it's something that is very powerful, although it's very simple. So today I want you to break down for us, Nick, and we can go into a bit of a detail with this, break down the triple M of marketing. What is the triple M, I guess, firstly, for people that don't know? And secondly, how do we leverage the triple M so that marketing works for us?
Perfect. So, let me kind of give you a bit of a backtrack of where the Triple M came from. So, Triple M for me was a lesson that I did with a coach by the name of Matt Church. And I did a lot of studying with him around my speaker side of the business, not necessarily coaching side, but more, speaker and speakership and stuff like that. And he was talking about one day saying, how do you get your message out there? And from that, I kind of adapted it because I kept on coming across businesses that told me, it feels like marketing is really difficult. I don't understand how to do it. I get all confused. Where do I start? What do I use? I mean, is Instagram good? Is LinkedIn good? Is Facebook? All of these questions. And to be honest, I think either, marketers made it purposely difficult so they could stay in the job, or nobody just had an elegant answer, like Joe Polly says, find an elegant answer for anything that you do.
Right.
And so for me, I suppose what I wanted to do then is to show people a framework that you can apply regardless if you're a big business, small business, startup business, seasoned business, that you could use over and over again, that was really quick, got to the point, and most importantly, got the results. And that's where the triple M of marketing, then I just took it to the next level, used one part of the framework and then grew it from there. So That's kind of the background of it. So let me explain the triple M. Like I said, I wanted something that you could literally get a marketing campaign designed in 20 minutes. And, we've done this at our live events where we've worked with people and we said, hey, we're going to sell this particular product. Could be a mobile phone, could be a toothpick, could be a pen, could be a whatever, I mean, a texter, whatever. Right? Could have been anything that you could sell literally in 20 minutes and have a framework for it. And that's where it came together. So there's three elements of it, right? Number one is message. So what's the message? And I'm going to kind of unpack all of this. Number two, what's the marketplace that you're putting that message into? And then number three, what's the method? So how will you advertise that? Is it going to be online or offline? And then what do you use? Now, in development of this over years, I figured out actually that market probably comes first. So let's start with the marketplace. And the reason being is it doesn't matter how good your product is. I mean, if you're selling this type of flask, if you sell it to the wrong marketplace, it doesn't matter how good it is, it's the wrong, fit for that marketplace. And we've just got to think about it like that. We don't need to sell a lot of sand to Libya. They've got plenty of bloody sand, right? So, but is there a type of sand? And the answer is yes. And funny enough, the Fraser Island sand that we've got here in Australia is the only type of sand that they don't have. It's insane. And they need it for some building stuff. So Fraser Island exports sand to the Middle East. Right? Pretty crazy, right? So once again, they've found out the market. So let's start with the market. So for me, first of all, what's your market? Who are the people that are going to purchase from you? Are they male, female? Is it both? Age group, categories, where do they hang out? What type of person are they? If you're a high-end residential builder, obviously you're probably not going to put your product in places like Campbelltown and Blacktown and all these places that are more inner west, more, blue collar, affordable, mums and dad type thing. They're not high end. You know, the dearest houses, $1.5 million, $2 million max. You know, where in the eastern suburbs it starts at 5 million. You know, so
Right.
once again, geographic locations different. So the marketplace is really, really important. Now, you also, as a clever business owner, need to do some research on that marketplace. Now, how do you do it today? First of all, you got, you know, the world at your fingertips called the internet, so you can suss out and see what's going on, and you know, what are people purchasing. You've got groups that you can check out on Facebook, you know, Insta, you know, a lot of other private groups that are around. You've got networking events, right? You've got chambers of commerce. You've got all of these places, you know, BNI, stuff like that. All of these places where there's other businesses that could possibly shed light if you're a business to business or business to consumer, right? Because if you're wanting to be a financial advisor to a particular area, being in a BNI of that area kind of gives you the terrain of the businesses that are going on, which probably service the same clients that you're looking at going for anyway, right?
Yeah.
So do you see relativity creates an understanding of the marketplace itself?
Right. So market is really defining that client avatar. If people have probably heard that before, your ideal client, who exactly is the person that you're going to be selling to, right?
Correct.
Right.
And the elegant word we use, like I said, is avatar today. I mean, I think about it like this. When I go to Ramsgate Markets, which is markets in the school, the way I think about it is that's the marketplace. What does that marketplace look like? You know, not many people are wearing Armani. You know what I mean? It's not that feel for it.
Right. Okay.
And then I've been to eastern suburbs where a lot of people are wearing Armani because it's that feel for it. They sell different stuff. Even though it's a market, it's higher end type stuff. You know, it's not, you know, the everyday sausage sizzle, you know, like, so,
Yeah.
and it's just a marketplace, you know, like, but the people that are at that marketplace at Ramsgate are more earthy, you know, organic-y type people. There's a lot of organic stores there. Cruisy, everyone brings a dog, you know, so it's no use having a storefront that looks so incredible and it looks expensive because it's the wrong storefront in there. And I think the same. If you're a storefront online, what does your stuff look like to your ideal avatar? As you said, is it too cheapo? Is it right? Or is it too expensive? You just got to get that. So marketplace is number one. Number two, then I believe it's the message. Before I used to always go, what's the message first? But I think first it's the marketplace and then the message. And what I mean by message is if you're about to advertise to somebody, what message are you putting across? And, you know, something pops into my head like of, you know, when I was in Amsterdam, they got the red light district. And in Amsterdam, weed is legal, right? So there's a particular message that they bring out. And, you know, whether you're into it or you're not, I mean, there's thousands of tourists, not millions of tourists that go to Amsterdam, and it's the coolest, safest, funkiest place ever. I love Amsterdam, right? And you go, like, so if you're in a red light district, there's women that are out in these rooms in the front of the houses, because it looks like they're all houses, with a glass front on it. And, you know, they're there kind of showing off their wares. They're not getting naked, but they're, you know, kind of influencing people towards what they do. And then behind the curtain, obviously, you can go do what you got to do, right? So to me, the message that they're trying to get across is it's not sleazy or, you know, XXX or anything. It's not like that. It's more visually erotic, I think, is kind of what it's about. And for that industry, for that area, in that particular place, obviously, that's what you go there for. Now, are kids their target audience? And the answer is no. So you're not taking the kids to go into those places, right? But they've kind of done it where it's window shopping at some levels for an industry that technically is all underground. It's crazy like that, right? Another one that comes to mind, if you look at, you know, there's a lot of adult toy or, you know, adult, you know, toys and stuff like that now being advertised on the radio. There's a company, I think it's Love Honey or something along those lines. I've heard the ads a few times. And basically they're the same thing. You can order online. It's discreet, you know, packaged so people can't see it. It's $1 trillion industry. It's massive. Like, so once again, the message is what they're trying to do is to go, you know, let's kind of be adults about it, be cool about it, and make it so it's mainstream. So it's not this sleazy underground, all of it that comes from that. Now, why am I saying that around the message? Because a lot of messages that I've seen from business owners is they're trying to promote their product with the wrong message, or a message that kind of sucks, to be honest. Now, your first message usually is going to be what? Your website. If not, it's going to be an ad. So if your ad doesn't connect with your ideal client avatar that we spoke about, which is your marketplace, it doesn't matter how good the product is, because the first port of call is either your website, a page, an ad, a sign, offline, A-frame, sign on the side of a building,
Yeah.
bus sign, whatever.
Business card if you're handing them out.
Business card, exactly, right? So the key with the message, in order for you to get the right messages, I like to kind of, start with a question to elicit a response. Do you need help with? And that could be building a house. The 5 things you need to know when choosing the right builder. Great message. Have you been, caught in the finance trap? The same thing. So you've got to be thinking a message is, how does it connect with the problems that your marketplace has? That's a good starting point. Right. How will it get that marketplace to go, hey, that's me? And when you think about that, you want to be able to create it in a way that it connects, and most importantly, elicits a response. Because it's no use just connecting, hey, I know all redheads are cool, and that's cool, but what now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you like being a redhead, want to show off your hair? Click, all right, cool. Then I've elicited something for somebody to do something.
Right. So with your message, you're trying to answer the problem that your ideal client is asking themselves, I guess, in their own mind, or asking themselves and on their daily
path. It's something that they think about. And it's something, if you can get to something that they think about but don't talk about, you've killed it. Has that itch been worrying you, but you can't tell anybody about it? Use this cream. And, pharmaceutical companies do this all the time. Did you know it's flu season? I don't know about you, but when's flu season? It's flus all year round, right?
Yes.
And sooner or later, guess what? We're going to have COVID treatment, same thing. Are you thinking you may have COVID but don't want to tell anyone? Click, get this online test to whatever setting. So do you see, it's stuff that you think. Now, we know traditionally you can also go, need a hot water system broken down. They're thinking about it, but they're also talking about it. So that's kind of cool. You don't go, I better not tell anybody that my hot water system broke. Who cares? But you're definitely not going to tell anybody if you've got something growing in places where you're embarrassed about it. That's how it is. And that's why, coming back just to the adult toy industry, it's so massive online. I mean, we're talking like 80% of the internet massive. They've cornered a niche that people are very discreet about it. And before, you had to go to the, sex shops that all look a bit, right?
Yeah.
And the other reason I'm using that as an example is to go, the power of the message has got the ability to connect with that ideal marketplace. And that ideal marketplace now has expanded.
Yes.
Very much more mainstream today. That's, 60 years ago, used to be taboo. They're hanging it for stuff.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I guess if you want as well, if you're thinking, message, how do I really get this across? Go and watch an infomercial.
Perfect.
They are the kings of being able to elicit that response from a problem that people might have.
Kings. I love watching infomercials because it just shows me how they're positioning the product, what they're talking about, the testimonials, all of that type of stuff. But literally after watching it for 10 minutes, you're tempted to pick up your phone or reach for the card. I need the extender ladder. I was talking to Rose. She goes, we've already got 2 ladders. I'm like, but I don't know. This one looks pretty cool. And I'm getting sucked into that, right? I need that smokeless barbecue because we're going to be doing lots of barbecuing indoors.
Yes. Of course.
How many times am I ever going to use that? Right? But they do it perfectly. Is it hard to get the other barbecue? It's all in black and white. There's the one with the, it's like a heater that sticks on the wall, and it goes. It feels like I'm directly in front of the sun. That's I'm like, and the other heater, the gas ones that everybody uses.
Yeah.
People are just freezing because they're on that too far away from it, and this
right.
They have the rays like they're hitting you from this light.
I think I've seen that heater one.
So it's the best. Even my daughter Tiana goes, Dad, we've got to get one, right? It's it's like, and she's 10, like 11, right? So
That's
but the
great.
way that they do it is they connect ideally money. How long does it take to heat up? How much money are you wasting having it on all day? It cuts down on, makes your health better. There's all of these things for arthritis. So that target audience isn't 18-year-olds going to a nightclub with hardly anything on and they're freezing outside. It's tailored towards me. 50s, Jesus, cold, I better, or older. That's the marketplace. So that's how it is. Right?
Great.
So message, market, too important. And then last one is method. I mean, for me, I think the method today, I always like to consider it like this. You need at least 2 methods of delivery. It's very difficult just to have one and kind of kill it. Here's an example. So I've got a bathroom company that do bathroom renovations. So we use Google. It's been a very, very good for us because people are just searching up stuff in Google. We're starting to use Facebook. Facebook has been very powerful. With Facebook, we're doing things like, get COVID package, and we're using relativity there, where we come to you, it's kind of like semi-contactless, all our people are COVID tested, and then you get, 15% off and all of these things. Another one was 5 things you need to know when using a bathroom renovator. Download it now. So that's been good from those type of things, which has been excellent. The other one was in-floor heating because it's good value. The message has to show good value to that marketplace as well. So Google, Facebook have been excellent. But the other side that's been really good, which is an offline method, is we've set up in some tile shops. One of them's Harvey Norman, the super center. That's been pretty awesome. And we were also setting up in a few other tile shops where, we'd go in there on a Saturday for half a day, have somebody there. And then when people come to talk about tiles, usually they're going to use them for a bathroom, kitchen, or floor somewhere, or a wall. And these guys do bathrooms and they do tiling as well. So you can speak to the expert. So that's been excellent. So we've designed things like a little DL flyer that says, here's your $250, one-on-one session that we come to your place, consultation.
Like a tile consultation. Yeah. Sure.
So even the other guys during the week, if we're not there, they can go, hey, let me just get you one of these for your thing. It looks value for the tile place, and it's good for us. And
That's cool.
we
I like that.
do 2 bathrooms a month out of that at 20 Gs each.
Wow.
So, it's been very lucrative. So once again, that message, I think, shows good value. And it's people go, geez, I'd love to get someone in my place to come and give me a quote, or at least some design ideas around all the rest of the stuff with that. And it's valued at $250. It shows pretty good value. And they get the design and the consultation together. And that's been fantastic. So people like that stuff. Once again, we've identified the marketplace. Now, is that going to rental people? The answer is no, because they don't own the place. It's going to be homeowners, DIY type people that are renovating. Some builders obviously use this. That's a different kind of campaign, So here's another one. Let's say I've got a company that does glass. The marketplace is other glaziers. These guys are glass suppliers, so glaziers, tradespeople, and then DIY. There's 3 different marketplaces. And for the tradesmen and the glaziers, the message that we've been using is to go, hey, we're here, we've got a catalog. Would you like us to send it to you? And I think it was 10% off your first transaction with us. The method that we used was a call center. So we reached out to those people via list and then connected with them, put them into our database from email, and now we email them. And out of the first sweep, I think in about 100 calls, we sold to 2 people, and I think they were probably close to 10 grand each. And there's another one that's a 50 grand or so. Once again, very powerful. It's and everybody that we connected with was more than happy to get the catalog and said, hey, I've got some work coming up. And we asked a really critical question. Here's something interesting. We just asked, hey, what projects have you got coming up? And that was the key to kind of open the conversation, that then now we know what projects are coming up, and now we can follow them up on those projects, and hopefully, and there's going to be glass within those projects themselves.
Right. So from a method perspective, do you define, you said two, so define your best methods from where your best avatar are hanging out or using, or like,
Yeah,
how
correct.
do you, right, okay, good.
Yeah, look, I mean, you're pretty safe with Google pretty much all the time, right? It's the big marketplace, but YouTube is as well, right? So
Yeah.
if you've got a product like a fun play product, or something like that, like a kids product, or you do, I don't know, like kids camping stuff and stuff like that. Sometimes YouTube's very powerful as well, because you can put you can put those ads in front of the search terms that people are looking at. Very similar,
Yes, yes. Yeah,
Um,
particularly if you're a service-based or need-based service as well, electrician, Sparky, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
If you're
look,
not
you
on
could be a
Google,
first aid, right? Like it's.
that's right.
But then again, let's say first aid, it's good on Google, but it's also good on Facebook and Insta, because people are just sitting there and going, "Oh, you know what? This just came up. I was thinking of doing
Mm,
it along those lines." So once again, I think the only reason why I say use two as a minimum is you don't want to use 10. 10's too many different methods to try to test. The only reason I want to do two is to go, let's test two of them and see what works, because the only way that this formula works, the triple M, is by testing it. Nothing's perfect. And Chris, this perfectly. I'm thinking we're
mm.
writing the best copy in the world for emails and pages, and
Yeah,
looking beautiful, and the ugly page with the shitty copy, and the
yep.
average,
The Frankenstein.
the
Yep.
Frankenstein works a treat, and they're the ones that are signing up. And,
Mm,
Facebook loves that ad. I don't
mm,
know what it is. It's just like, so you've just got to test it, but I think if you use possibly an online and an offline method of delivery,
yep.
I think you're going to be safe. In some cases, you cannot use offline because you're a, Amazon or eBay storefront person, right? Now, how to use it if you're Amazon or eBay? Well, the marketplace, obviously, you're trying to attract it. But the message and the method are usually, the message is going to be more along the lines of what your product looks like, the image quality, the description of those qualities. There's all particular keywords inside there, the guarantee, the store responses, and all of that type of stuff. So, and yourself, two identical products, if one's presented better than the other, usually the one that is presented better wins. Here's a perfect example. This is a red texter. This is the same red texter, the same texter, but one's got the cover on it, one hasn't. All I did was I just built this cover off it, but it's the perfect example of one presented really well versus one looks like a generic no-name. If this is
Yeah.
more expensive, even though that they both do the same job, I know which one most people will go for, and that's that one, right?
Mm,
Because it's presented better. So
mm.
your message is the presentation, and that's why it's important that you've got good imagery on your website, case study information, all this type of stuff where it comes to the triple M to help it. Because once people click on an ad, or they see a sign, or they're walking past you at Westfield, they're definitely going to look at what it looks like. Have you ever noticed the stores that look like there's got a line out the front, even in the middle of Westfields and stuff? It looks like people are like, oh, what's going on there, right? And usually it's because there's a kind of a cool display or something happening. It's the same that happens. Here's another interesting example. At Darling Harbour in Sydney, they've got all these different acts, a Sunday and on a Saturday, just as entertainers to entertain people. There's one guy that does fire, and he rides a unicycle and does all of these tricks, and he's a pommy guy, red hair. He's really good. This guy's like awesome, right? And he's really entertaining. He's funny, and man, he draws a crowd. Like, there'll be 500 people out there looking at him. And why? The
Wow.
message is really good. He's fun and dynamic. He's into it. He's playing
Mm.
around. He's laughing at kids. He's part clown, part fire guy, part unicycle, part funny dude. Right? He's really good, right? The marketplace is kids and their parents, and the method of delivery is live, dynamic, there and then, and very, very visual. The flame you can see from, like, if you're walking down, Darling Harbour's massive, and he
Right.
gets, man, people are just, after 10 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever it is, people are just dropping $5 in there, and everybody else normally is getting 20 cents, So I'm reckon he's making 500 to $1,000, maybe more or whatever, for the day, because he's really, really good, right? So same thing. He uses that message, that market, and that method. Very, very intelligent versus somebody that's just there on a guitar. It's a bit boring.
Yeah,
They're
sure.
faded into the background.
Got it. He's got the triple M down. That's why he's attracting the money that he's got.
Completely that.
Right. Okay. So if you want to summarize the Triple M for people that maybe have tuned in just at the end of this, give us the rundown just on the 3 M's very quickly. And if
Yeah, perfect. So the message, one message to one client. Don't try to sell them everything. Just think one message. The marketplace is who's your ideal avatar? What do you know about them? What are they? What do they want? How do you connect the message to the marketplace? And once you've got those two, how are you going to deliver it to that marketplace? And that's the method. So use one online, one offline. Go for your life, do some testing. And people ask me around budget. If you can do $30 to $50 a day on social media, do that for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you're going to get enough data, and then ramp it up from there.
Yes. And like you said just before, anything to do with marketing is all about testing. So once you've got these 3 things lined up, get it out there and deploy it as quickly as you can, and test what the results are when they come back. And then you might have to tweak your campaign moving forward. And if you need any help with marketing in your business or marketing in general, please reach out to us at askitupcoach.com.au. We'd be happy to either speak about a marketing issue on the podcast, or, even flick you back an email and try and help you out in some way. I think that's going to wrap us up for today, Nick. So thank you very much.
No problem.
And we'll catch you all again on the next episode of Coaching Conversations. We'll speak to you and see you all again soon. Bye now.
Bye for now.